Most of us can tell when we start to feel overwhelmed. You may feel anxious, worried, or even angry.
Yeah, getting back in control can seem impossible in the moment, but our next guest says a planned freak out can actually help.
Yeah, that's right. Katie Horwitch is the author of the newly released book, Want Yourself, and the founder of Want, Women Against Negative Talk. Thanks so much for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so pumped to be here.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it, because we talk about kind of like when we're overwhelmed, we're going through planned freak out moments. It's important to identify different kinds of overwhelm, correct?
Yeah, so a lot of times when we think of overwhelm, we think, okay, this feels bad, so it must have to be about bad things, so to speak. But actually, overwhelm is any time where life is coming at us and we feel that lack of control. So I like to call two different types of overwhelm. Roughness overwhelm, where all of the hard things are happening over and over, and then goodness overwhelm. We've all had that feeling where it feels like there's so much good happening that we don't even really know how to process it.
A change in your routine, maybe something new that you're dealing with.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be bad stuff, but it feels uncomfortable, and we relate that feeling to, ooh, it feels uncomfortable, so this must be bad.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the planned freak out. Normally when you hear that term freak out, you think negative, or you think of the song Like Me. Can you explain what exactly that is?
Yeah, so a planned freak out is exactly what it sounds like. It is a plan to freak out before you freak out. So it's a way to sort of harness in what is actually getting under your skin and then develop a proactive plan to move forward. It's basically a supercharged journaling exercise, and it's really important to note that this isn't about venting or just complaining. It's about developing a plan so that you feel a sense of agency and control when it's really hard to feel those feelings.
Yeah, it sure is. Okay, so there's 4 parts to a planned freak out. What are those parts?
I love talking about this. So the first part of a planned freak out is you got a journal, a notebook. You open it up to a 2-page spread. On one side, you write things I hate. The language is really important here. The other side, you write things I dislike. After that, you set a timer, because you want to give yourself parameters. I suggest 10 to 20 minutes if you're first starting out. It's your first PFO, if you will. And then you just brain dump all of the things that bring up those feelings inside of you.
Smart. It's kind of cathartic. You release
it all. Oh my gosh, yes.
Why is the 10 to 20 minutes crucial?
Because I find that a lot of times we can either go way past that, or we can bypass some of these feelings that we've told ourselves we're not supposed to be feeling, or we should be over them. So that 10 to 20 minutes really allows us the time to take a look at what's going on and how we feel about it without it going on into infinity, you know?
All right, so what happens? So the 20 minutes are up. What do you do next? There's more parts.
Yeah, so after that, you either make a line underneath or you flip to a page and you write, so what am I going to do about it?
Good.
Yeah, and then you set another timer. Again, you can do 10 to 20 minutes or so, and you start to write out all of the different things that you can think of and how you can be proactive in these situations. And they can be really, really simple. It can be as simple as, my house is a mess, so I am going to clean my desk. Really simple, doable, actionable steps.
So what are the last 2 parts of it?
Yeah, so this is key for a successful PFO. You then do the exact same thing. So you open up a 2-page spread and you write things I love. And then on the other side, you write things I like. Again, you set a timer and you go. And this might actually be the hardest part of the PFO for some people, because they haven't really sat with what they actually love and like. And then after that, you do the exact same thing and you say, so what am I going to do about it?
I like doing that, the second part, because it just makes you feel better.
It's a bit of a good way
to finish it off.
Well, I love it. You have so many tips in your book, and I know people get overwhelmed, so this is so helpful. Want Yourself. Katie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And of course, sharing your tips, you have them everywhere, I know, but if you want to purchase Katie's book, check out Want Yourself. Follow her on Instagram. Information right there on your screen.